Batman 2 is coming, and now we've got not an idea about who the villain's going to be, but we've narrowed down the field quite a bit for who the villain might be. Because the director of the upcoming Batman 2, Matt Reeves, is saying that the villain in the film is going to be one that hasn't been used on a movie before. So that right away eliminates Joker. It eliminates Penguin. It eliminates Bane. It eliminates Catwoman. It eliminates Riddler. It eliminates Two-Face. Who are some of the other guys?
Poison Ivy.
It eliminates Poison Ivy. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're talking about it eliminates Mr. Freeze.
Yep.
I was really hoping they get Arnold back, but can't always get what we want. It eliminates Scarecrow.
Ra's al Ghul.
It eliminates Ra's al Ghul. Yeah. That's a great way.
And Talia.
Talia al Ghul. It excludes her. So that leaves some significant names. So I thought, first of all, it was fascinating that Matt Reeves is already telling us this, that it's a villain that we're using, hasn't really been used in a movie before. Okay. That leaves us who I think might be the most leading contenders here. One, Hush. Mm-hmm. Hush is one that I think could and not only do I think he would that be a really interesting way to go, it's something that Matt Reeves would do, right? Second, Court of Owls. We've seen Court of Owls used on television, both in like Gotham and in Harley Quinn animated series.
Yeah.
We've seen Court of Owls used before. So that's absolutely one that I could totally see Matt Reeves doing. It's not just one that I'd like to see. It's one that I think would totally be in Matt Reeves's wheelhouse. And somebody in the live chat just said the one I was going to say. Kane Legion in the live said, Azrael. I mean, I've talked about Azrael before because, you know, in the Nightfall series, Paul or Azrael is the one that Bruce goes to replace him as Batman while he's recovering from the backbreaking that he took from Bane. And then eventually Paul goes mad and Bruce has to come back and take down Paul. But then later Paul gets redeemed a little bit and joins the Bat family as his other moniker, Azrael. That could be a really interesting one too. So again, I think there's a couple of interesting things here. It's just the fact that Matt Reeves is saying, I'm going to use a totally different one. Because I know some people, while excited for the Batman 2, they haven't really wanted them to go back to Joker again yet. Although I'd be fine if they did. Because every time we get an iteration of Joker, it's pretty interesting. And then those are some names that I think I'd like to see maybe be the villain. Rob, what do you think about Matt Reeves coming out right now and just saying straight up, hey, our villain in this film ain't going to be one you've seen in a movie so far yet. And who do you think that leaves us as some viable contenders to be the villain in the Batman 2?
Well, I think he immediately gets rid of all that needless fanboy speculation that the internet would explode with who's going to be the villain. And he's going to say you haven't seen the villain before. And if you think about the tone of the first Batman, like the tone of Penguin, it felt like you were watching a real-world crime thriller that the character of Batman is in. You know, that's what I really liked about it. People talked about the Batman feeling more like Seven than it felt like a Batman movie, and I love that, which means, to me, the villain's got to be grounded. And I love the idea that an Azrael, the thing is, Azrael could be like the anti-Batman. You know, like he could come in and they're immediately at odds because of their approach to, say, crime fighting. But I also like the idea, like the Court of Owls is a great idea because it's corruption and it's deep. It metaphorically is the deep-rooted corruption of the system that Batman is fighting against. So you could also have both. Azrael could be an agent of the Court of Owls. So I like those two things. Or
because don't they call Azrael at one point in the comics, Azrael, Agent of the Bat.
Yeah.
I believe that kind of becomes his little moniker, Azrael, Agent of the Bat. So that would be kind of interesting if they twisted that with the Court of Owls.
And I think that's those. I mean, other than that, it's hard to come up with a Batman villain that has gravitas, because the further you get out into his rogues gallery, like KG Beast and stuff like that, that doesn't really fit in with what Matt Reeves is doing.
Now, I've got a name to throw out to you here. First of all, let's read the exact quote, and because I need to read this quote to you before I give you the one name, okay? So the quote specifically, the Cloverfield director explained that the sequel's new angle was crucial consideration when selecting the villain. He teased that the antagonist for the Batman Part 2 has, quote unquote, never really been done in a movie before. Never really been done in a movie before. Ladies and gentlemen, I submit to you Deathstroke. Now, you can say, wait a minute, we saw Deathstroke in a movie. Joe Manganiello popped up there at the end. Yeah, but he just popped up for a second.
He got on a boat.
He wasn't really used. Yeah. And again, the exact wording of it is Batman 2 has never really been done in a movie before. Now, maybe that's just semantics. Maybe what Matt Reeves was intending to say was specifically never been done. And he just goes, it's never really been done. Or by saying it's a villain that's never really been done in a movie before, maybe it's a character like Deathstroke who they never really did use him. He just popped up in a cameo really quick. Mm-hmm. And because who doesn't salivate at the idea of a Batman facing a Deathstroke in live action? So, I do. That could be an option.
Yeah. And plus, look, if there's already an existing script, obviously that we've heard that there was a finished script for Ben Affleck's Batman. If studios have already spent money, it's common practice that they go into things that have already been developed or they spent money on, and then they redo them. They repurpose them. If you think about Die Hard's 2 and 3, like Die Hard 2, Die Harder, and then Die Hard with a Vengeance, both of those movies were based on previously existing screenplays that had nothing to do with the Die Hard franchise. Die Hard 2 is called 58 Minutes, and Die Hard 3 was a script called Simon Says. So they have a Batman script that was supposed to be pretty good that Matt Reeves could have taken and adapted. Then Chris Terrio, I guess Ben Affleck might get writing credits on, I don't know. But they could have done that. So it's very possible that Deathstroke is the villain in this film. And I would be so there for that, dude. So there for that. Especially if he was a little older, a little bit more seasoned, because I like the idea of him a younger. He could, and by the way, a Deathstroke could be also keyed into the Court of Owls.
Yeah, I mean, you could tie that all in. Maybe setting up Court of Owls really more for a bigger presence in a third Batman film. So maybe like they're still that force that's behind the shadows, kind of maybe pulling some strings, whether that's with a Hush or, a Hugo Strange or an Azrael or a Deathstroke or whoever. And then that kind of then sets you up for a much bigger kind of narrative in Batman 3. But whatever.
Guys, we want to thank the sponsor of today's episode, PrizePicks. Look, you and I make decisions every day, but on PrizePicks, being right actually means you win. And with football back, there is no better time to get in on the action. You guys know I've been using PrizePicks for a while now, and it's honestly the most fun I've had engaging with the new football season already. For example, this weekend, I had Josh Allen throwing for more than 270 passing yards and Baker Mayfield having more than 2.5 passing touchdowns, and boom, I won on both. Building your lineups on PrizePicks is fast, simple, and honestly extremely fun. All you have to do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player projections. And if you're right, you win. What's even better is that PrizePicks invented the flex play, which means you can still win even if one of your picks doesn't hit. Plus, they've even got this thing called injury reboots, so if a player goes down in the first half, it won't count against you. And PrizePicks operates in more than 40 states, including California, Texas, and Georgia. So download the app today and use code CAMPEA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CAMPEA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks. It's good to be right.
Guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? With Matt Reeves saying that the villain for Batman 3 has never really been done in a movie before. Do you think that's a good move to not go with one of the more tried and true villains at this point? And if what he's saying is true, which we have no reason not to believe that he's saying is true, who do you think that leaves as viable options for a villain for the next film? Whatever you guys think, jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.